In this video for RCS creators, we are going to go through adding a calendar event to Google Calendar and then sending that as an RCS message with an Add Calendar button to an RCS agent. As you can see here, kind of have our Google Calendar, very simple, to an HTTP request to sending the agent to calendar event to the agent. So let's start from scratch and kind of walk through this and show you how to do it. So we're going to go into scenarios here and create a new scenario. What we're using here is Make. Find it pretty easy just to add things, do automation, simple automations. We'll call this Google Calendar to RCS. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go in and add an event for Google Calendar. So let's look that up. There we go. So what we want to do is watch for events. So we're going to watch for an event, which is then going to trigger this message. So we hit that. We already have a connection set up. If not, you're going to have to set up a connection into your Google account to reach a calendar. We have a calendar here that we're going to use called RCS Creators Calendar. You want to watch for the date created. So when that event, calendar event is added, the create date will trigger, event will trigger, if thus firing this action. All right, so we hit OK on that. Where do we want to start? We'll get back to that. So the next thing we want to do here is once that's fired and we have that event, we want to take that and push that through to an API call to send to an RCS agent. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the HTTP request, and we want to make a request here. And the URL we're going to use for this is we're going to be using the native message API. So I'm going to plug in the native message API there. What we want to do is an HTTP post for sending that message. For the header, we're going to need to put the API key in here. So we're going to need an authorization header, and then we will copy and paste the API key in there. Now that the API key is set, we want to go to the body type. We want this to be raw. Content type, we're going to have this be JSON, and the request content. So I have JSON payload here that conforms to the native message API. So we're going to put that in here. And what we're going to do here is now that we have this JSON payload in here, we're going to push that through in this post, right, in order to send this message. So you can see it's got a title, text, an image. I grabbed the image file from the community, phone number, and different types of things. So in the title here, we're going to want to use the title here that comes from calendar event. Let me find that, which is going to be the summary. So we want to grab the summary. We want to pull that in. Make sure you get that in between the quotes. Next, we want the text, right? What is the text of this event? So we'll take the description and we'll plug in the description there. Next, for the event title. So that is the title of the search card that's going to go out for RCS. Here is the description. We have an image for the media. We'll plug in a phone for the target. We have a channel of the RCS agent. But then here in the button type, we have a calendar. We're going to call this Add to Calendar, the title. We can call this whatever we want. But next, we want to put in the title, and this is what's going to go when you actually click on Add to Calendar inside the RCS agent that's going to populate your calendar on your phone. We want to know what information to put in there. So again, we're going to use the summary for the event title. We're going to go to the description here, and we're going to plug in the description field. For start time, we are going to go to and grab the start field for the event. For the end, we're going to grab the end here. Okay, so now we have this all set. If you want this JSON code, you can grab this from the community. We will publish this so it's easy, so you don't have to retype any of this. We want to parse it, yes, and we want to hit OK. Now that we have this set up, let's run through and see if we can send a very simple calendar event. So I have a calendar set up here. I'm going to go through here and maybe just place RCS creator meeting. It really doesn't matter. We will put in, let's have a time frame, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and we'll hit save here. So now we have some data. We're going to go through here and we can hit run once to get this to move. and let's see what happens. So we click run once, it goes through, grabs it, as you can see here. It grabbed the calendar event, it pushed it to the API, and now we have a status code of 200, meaning that this actual message was sent. We got a successful send through the make platform. Now I'm going to pull in a phone here, and we'll take a look and see what showed up on the device. Okay, now that we look at the phone here, we can see in Brian's Playground there is this RCS creators meeting that was added. Click on that, and you can see we have our image, we have our RCS creator meeting title, and we have add to calendar. So if I click, now that was a pretty simple example. Let's go back, and as you can see, the description didn't show up. So let's go back in. We will add in a second calendar event. Let's say post party. All right, so we're going to say post party to the event, and then in the description we'll say show up for a happy hour event after the RCS creators meeting. Okay, and then we will have that maybe, let's say, at 5 p.m. just to make it a little later in the day. And we'll say that goes through till 8:30. So now we have that. We can hit save and go back to our make automation. We can hit run once now that we have a new data point. And now we can pull in the phone here, and we can see that here we have now a post party, show for a happy hour event after the RCS creators meeting, and then we can click on this, and this will add it to our calendar on the device. So again, a pretty simple example of integrating an automation, adding an event to Google Calendar, and then pushing that to an RCS agent to a message on the device, utilizing the simple native message API. If you have any questions, please let us know. There will be the scripts for this inside of the post. And as always, feel free to ask any questions on the RCS Creators community. Thank you.